looking to tech involving Windows and Microsoft, specifically Windows 11. It is being touted by Microsoft as the fastest, most secure version of the operating system to date. But many users across the board have reported it being very slow, either bloated with all these unnecessary features or very buggy. And those claims might actually have a little bit of merit here because Windows 11, a YouTuber ran some tests on it, and specifically with speed tests and processing power, and they actually found out that Windows 11 performs worse than older versions in pretty much almost every benchmark. And YouTuber TrigrZolt compared 6 different generations of Windows operating systems all the way from Windows XP to Windows 11. And Windows 11 pretty much came dead last in most of the categories. And the major ones include boot speed, which is how fast it takes for it to go from shutdown mode to turning on and being ready to operate. And the battery life was a huge thing that it lacked in compared to the others because it uses so much processing power with all these unnecessary features that most people, I feel like, don't even use. This also included app opening speeds and video editing. And these were pretty much things that people were very, very upset with because the faster things open, the faster people, it's a better quality of life for the user, pretty much around the board. I don't think anyone would rather something take longer to open up, but it could be, someone's cup of tea. You never know. But it also came last in memory usage, particularly when it uses much more RAM than the older models, even though there's no apps running at a time. So with all these background processes and applications that are using it to pretty much help the computer run when none of them are actually open, that's a huge, huge problem when it comes to speeds. And it also took the longest time to open File Explorer despite using twice as much memory to do so, and Microsoft Paint. These severely lacked in terms of opening speed, unfortunately. And one thing that it actually was better at compared to the older generations was the file transfer speed, as well as the disk space usage for default apps that were already pre-installed on the operating system that they didn't download from the internet or anything. But it finished third in one of the page loading tests, but was also the slowest in terms of getting to the Google homepage. And if you've used any computer growing up or in the past, you'll know that just getting to the Google homepage is one of the fastest loading times possible. And the fact that it was, the slowest to get to just the Google homepage, just to Google something, that's a pretty telling sign, unfortunately. And in terms of the test specifications, all 6 laptops that he used in the testing were the exact same model. It was the Lenovo ThinkPad X220. And this comes pre-installed with an Intel Core i5 CPU and 8 gigabytes of memory with 256 gigabytes of storage. So it's a pretty, entry-level computer that is very well capable of handling something like Windows 11. But the fact that it did not was very, very telling, and it's a growing problem with Microsoft, unfortunately, where you already have AI and their Copilot model being integrated into pretty much everything when no one essentially asked for that. It's already being implemented into Gmail, I believe, and it's with their version of Google's Gemini. And that's a huge security risk when it comes to everything that involves privacy and file exploration on the computer, because if Gemini is reading your emails, Copilot, I've read reports already that it's being integrated into File Explorer. So now that it's able to read and potentially write your files, I can't see that going well personally, especially when nobody asks for this. When people are reading their emails, nobody wants a Gemini summary or Copilot summary of your emails. Even when I'm typing up notes or stories for the website, like Sometimes I'll hit a key on accident, and then Copilot will start rewriting it, and it's just like I start panicking trying to cancel it. Like, it's just something that's so unnecessary, in my opinion. And I think it's a huge reason why it feels bloated to most users, and why the processing power of it uses just so much memory.